funsupermart.com.
Hello everyone. The Asian consumer sector is getting more appealing thanks to the growing middle class and rising income in Asia. With us today is Ms. Joohee An, Senior Portfolio Manager of Mirae Asset Global Investments, who will share with us her views. Hi Joohee, thanks for joining us. The Asian consumer sector as a whole has delivered decent returns year to date. What do you think are the drivers?
If you think about Asian markets since last year, especially second half of last year, we have seen a lot of volatilities, especially in emerging Asian countries because of the QE tapering issue. And the people had a fear that it could be like an Asian crisis in 1990s. If you look at the index, right, of all the countries, it has been very volatile, especially in emerging markets. But if you look at the individual stocks, stock performance, actually it's eventually linked to the earnings growth. So especially consumer names, especially high quality names in consumer sector in Asia, they actually showed us better than expected numbers, and that's why this year they actually recovered quite fast.
What is your general outlook on Asian consumer equities in the next 6 months? And what will the catalyst be for this sector?
For consumer sector in Asia, actually the consumer sector is not everything. If you think about the healthcare sector, there's also consumption. And then maybe internet, when you're using the internet, there is also consumption, even though that is classified as IT sector. And then also some insurance or some other names in other sectors are all consumer names. So I believe as long as you pick the right one, which can generate better than expected earnings growth for the longer term period, then I think we are still positive on it. And then, for example, maybe in north part of Asia, such as Korea, Taiwan, Hong Kong, China, maybe we are more positive on internet, tourism, kind of next level of consumption. But when it comes to south part of Asia, such as India, Indonesia, or Philippines, Thailand, then I still see a lot of opportunities in necessity-related ones, such as healthcare or telecom or other the consumer sectors as well.
Markets remain concerned about China's economic slowdown, as the Chinese economy has high correlation with the Korean exporters' share prices. Is there any negative impact on the Korean consumer stocks so far?
Especially for consumer sectors in Korea, actually the net impacts were positive, I would say. As you mentioned, maybe some bank sectors or industrials or export sectors, they might have been negatively impacted from economic slowdown in China. But if you look at the consumer sectors, especially tourism-related ones, a lot of Chinese people, they wanted to come over to Korea for shopping or to experience Korean cultures. So especially from last year, and then year-on-year growth of inbound Chinese travelers to Korea actually accelerated until the first half of this year. So I think in consumer sector, of course, some other sectors which are more exposed to domestic economies in Korea, their performance was not really good, but the beneficiaries from those kind of inbound Chinese travelers and the increasing spending by Chinese people were actually performing quite well. If I need to talk about the impacts from China onto the consumer sector in Korea, I think a net impact was positive.